In the first week of the season, the Americans were undefeated, and Grant Moore won the West Division's Player of the Week award. With the Americans dropping 4 of 5, it's red-hot Justin Bremner who was able to dethrone him for the award in Week 2. Now they face off here at Sal Magley to kick off a home-and-home. And after the Americans swept Jamestown a week ago, they'll get an extra boost in the form of returnee Gavin Boyle. It's the Americans. It's the Tarp Skunks. It's PGCBL Baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
That the ace of the Giant pitching staff that season was Niagara Falls native Sal Magley. A league-low 2.71 earned run.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets 716-215-6161.
And where do you play?
We play right at Sal Magley, gorgeous stadium.
Set the 1-0 to Boyle. Is hammered to right field.
Go, baby, go, baby. Go,
Come
baby,
here,
go,
fence.
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome back here to Sal Magley Stadium. It's Dollar Hot Dog Night as the Americans take on the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, and it is also the long-awaited return of Gavin Boyle, one of the best hitters on the team a year ago, coming back to the Americans and will be batting third in the lineup tonight. But before we take a look at that lineup, let's take a look at the updated PGCBL standings. The Americans sit in the playoff picture in second place, but this is a very tight race. Pilots at 7-1-1 have sole possession of first place after fending off the Americans last night. Doubledays and Pioneers right on the Americans' tail in those last two playoff spots. Muck Dogs also right in the mix at 7-5. They dropped out of the playoff picture with the loss to Auburn, and then Jamestown in sixth at 5-6, not too far behind. Ironbacks and Red Wings have pretty much settled into the basement here, but these other six teams are in a close race for 4 playoff spots, so that is going to be very fun to watch over the next handful of days as the Americans are coming out to the field. We're getting ready for the national anthem here at Sal Magley. We will take a break in just a moment, but first, the mascot Apollo coming to the field, and he will be followed by the in-arena host Yankee Doodle Dan, who is in a special hot dog hat today. We'll keep it here for a hot dog eating contest down on the field at the end of the second inning. And here he is. That hot dog hat will look familiar to anyone who is following along on our social media pages. You can follow all our platforms right there, but we'll break for the national anthem and be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you, folks.
Thank you so much to our own public address announcer, Doc Fonts, for singing our national anthem here tonight. But while we await first pitch here, we will introduce you to the Jamestown Tarp Skunks lineup. Leading off will be Nolan Smith playing first base. He shifts to the top spot on the lineup after a number of days, batting second. Jacob Haynes will take that 2 spot. He's doing the catching. Justin Bremner, the hottest hitter in the entire West Division, bats third. Nathan Borchert, the cleanup hitter and extra hitter. Brady McGuire will bat fifth, play third. Brady Marshall, the shortstop, batting sixth. And then it'll be Dom Costello, the DH, as well as Weeks, Lagoni, and Matthew Dumas, a speedster, to round out the lineup. They'll be facing the guy who has arguably been the ace of this American staff thus far, Luke Blandino. Blandino is 1-0 with a 2.7 ERA and 10 strikeouts on the year. He has had 2 starts over the course of the season. This will be start number 3, his first against the Tarp Skunks. He opened up the season here at Sal Magley, the home opener. He started up against the Ironbacks, and then last Wednesday against Geneva was his most recent start, so he's on some extra rest here, headed into start number 3. The Americans should also be getting another excellent pitcher on their staff fairly soon. Matt Barr over at the MLB Draft Combine right now, expected to pitch when he returns, so some big things coming for this Americans team. They get Gavin Boyle back on the squad tonight, and then Matt Barr should be back soon as well. But tonight, Luke Blandino, who's been the best pitcher so far for these Americans, on the bump to face these Tarp Skunks. And in this first inning, he will see the trio of Nolan Smith, Jacob Haynes, and Justin Bremner. Haynes and Bremner each batting over 400 with OPSs over 1,000. And Smith not too shabby either, coming from Cortland where he batted 340 with a 931 OPS. He's exceeded his Cortland batting average here for the Skunks, 359 on the year. And he will come up in just a moment to face Blandino, who's warming up with his catcher Dalton Harper. Harper catching after playing first base last night. He's done a little bit of everything of late for these Americans. But the only catcher returning from last year, he has been a veteran anchor for this catching room. And here's Nolan Smith, first baseman for the Tarp Skunks, will bat from the left side. Tarp Skunks will be wearing their blue jerseys with gray pants. The Americans in all white with red lettering. As we get underway here at Sal Magley. And the first pitch from Blandino will go up and away for ball 1. Blandino, 10 punch-outs on the year. We'll see how many he can gather tonight. He's had 5 in each of his starts thus far. The 1-0 is fouled off into the stands along the third base side. And kids chasing after it. We have this kid in a Minecraft shirt, has been here multiple times this season, one of our biggest fans. Picks up the ball. But it's 1-1 from Blandino to Smith. That's another outside pitch for ball 2. The fastball going on the outside corner as Blandino looking to refine the strike zone here with the count in Smith's favor. The 2-1 will get in there on the outside part of the zone. Another fastball to make it 2-2. Blandino bringing the heat so far tonight. On a cloudy but warm day here at Sal Magley. The 2-2 will go upstairs and away. It's been that upper outside corner that a lot of Blandino's pitches have gone towards in this at bat against Smith. And he has his first full count of the night. Blandino readies for the payoff pitch, now delivers, and it's a swing and a miss. Never mind. Yeah, they will have to complete the strikeout at first base, but it indeed will be Blandino's first strikeout of the night. Umpire signaling as it gets away from catcher Dalton Harper for a brief moment, but he'll complete the out at first base. And here's Jacob Haynes, number 2 hitter here tonight. Batted cleanup frequently for these Tarp Skunks, but moving up in the order. He has plenty of power on him. Had 12 homers over at Seton Hill, looking for his first as a Skunk. Ball 1 goes in the dirt to him as Blandino sets for the 1-0. And the pitch is on the way. We'll go upstairs again for ball 2. A lot of these pitches going high. Got to mix some breaking balls in here. Refine that strike zone. And we'll see what Blandino does here with the 2-0 count. Finds the outside edge of the zone for the first strike of this at bat. Haynes batting .409, 1071 OPS for the Skunks this season. 3 RBIs. One of a few Seton Hill guys in this lineup. And that is sent into left field. It'll drop to the left of Gavin Boyle for the base hit. Now Haynes coming around to second. Will he be there in time? The throw comes just a little bit late. So a runner in scoring position already for these Skunks. And the first hit of the day is a double by Jacob Haynes. Right down the third base line. Boyle was chasing after it, but just too fast off the bat for him. As Justin Bremner will follow him up, the left fielder. Comes from Canisius. And followed up Grant Moore as PGCBL Player of the Week. He takes strike 1 from Blandino. Bremner, 489 batting average, 1242 OPS. That average has gone up almost 100 points since the last time these teams played. He has had an excellent week for Jamestown as Haynes scurries back to second on the pump fake by Blandino to his base. Now has his lead back. Alan Ramos, very good at guarding those runners on second. We'll see if he does that tonight, but a swing and miss to make it 0-2 here. Blandino looking for his second strikeout. Already punched out Nolan Smith to start the game. But now the runner on second with 1 down. Blandino checks on his runner Haynes. Checks again, now delivers on the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Gets Bremner to chase. And just like that, Luke Blandino has 2 strikeouts. Here's Nathan Borchert, second lefty to face Blandino tonight. First one was Nolan Smith, who, as I mentioned, struck out. But Borchert, great contact hitter, batting over 300. His OPS, though, down below 700, 683. Definitely a singles hitter. And he takes ball 1 at his feet. So the only base runner thus far is Jacob Haynes, who got on with a double, sandwiched between Blandino's 2 strikeouts. Blandino checks on Haynes, who's inching towards third base. Ramos following him down that path, and ball 2 will go inside on the breaking ball. So looking for a swing right there, but a little bit too far inside on that 2-0 pitch. And now this one is sent to Kiefer at second. The throw to first in time for out number 3. Americans get out of this one with just 1 hit allowed. No damage done. We'll be right back with the Americans lineup and the bottom of the first inning.
You know, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the first inning, and we will give you the Niagara Falls Americans lineup. Leading off tonight will be, as usual, Grant Moore in center field. Evan Core batting second in right field once again. Gavin Boyle playing left in his 2025 debut. Batted over 280 with an 860 OPS in his 2024 campaign here. Nick Pass, the DH, batting cleanup. Derek Gismonti, the extra hitter, bats fifth. Brady Bowles batting sixth. Dalton Harper doing the catching and batting seventh. And then three consecutive infielders to round us out: Graydon Miller, Connor Kiefer, and Alan Ramos. And Connor Kiefer, the 300 batting average, really the standout of that bottom half of the order, but they will be facing Tarp Skunks starting pitcher Easton Barnett. Has a ERA of 7, 6 strikeouts. And none of these Tarp Skunks starters have really been able to pick up wins this season, as they usually go just about 2 or 3 innings before the bullpen comes in. This is notoriously a bullpen team, but Easton Barnett, an established opener for these Skunks on the season. This will be Grant Moore getting ready to face him, but following him up will be the other two outfielders, Core and Grant Moore. And here's Grant Moore. Has a hit streak that's gone since the very first game of the season. The only American to play in every game. The only American to record a hit in every game. And he'll face Barnett in his 4th start of the season. Here in this bottom of the first inning, we await the first pitch from Easton Barnett. That'll go low for the ball on Moore. Grant Moore, despite his excellent batting stats, also very patient. Has walked 8 times this season. And that is a chopper, heads towards second base. Lagoni will send it to Nolan Smith for out number 1. So Grant Moore, after just a couple pitches, is retired on this first at bat of the game. Doesn't necessarily mean he won't see that hit streak extend. Plenty more opportunities to do so. And here's Evan Core batting second. He's started to settle into that spot. The last 3 games he's played in all the number 2 hitter. That included yesterday against Newark, as he takes strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. And Gavin Boyle officially on deck for the first time this season. But first, Evan Core leading the team in batting average at .471. Will take a ball to even up the count. So 1-1. Core leading the team in average, OPS, a number of other batting stats. And takes the strike on the low part of the plate. Evan Core, one of several SUNY Niagara players on this team. It's back-to-back SUNY Niagara players that Barnett will face, as Core sends it foul over the first base stands. It'll go right near the entrance to the visiting clubhouse. As Core steps back in, Barnett with the count in his favor, and that is at the helmet of Evan Core to make it 2-2. Easton Barnett, the opening day starter for the Tarp Skunks, making his 4th start and gets Evan Core to chase on strike 3. So it's 2 down for the Americans. Gavin Boyle, the final person due up in this inning, the final hope to prevent the Americans from going down 1-2-3 here in this bottom of the first. Boyle, last year, hit 4 home runs for these Americans, and he sends one up the middle. It's picked up by Marshall, sent to first base in time for out number 3. Americans go down 1-2-3 in this bottom of the first inning. We'll be back with the top of the second in just a moment.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the bottom of the second inning. Apologies for the flickering back and forth. Just had to slightly adjust our camera angle as the rain has cleared out of Niagara Falls. But this second inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is brought to you by Bully Hill Vineyards, a great place to grab lunch and taste over 40 different wines. Go to bullyhillvineyards.com for more. And here in this second inning, Luke Blandino, in his second inning of work, will face off with Brady McGuire, Brady Marshall, Dom Costello. So back-to-back Bradys here to lead things off in the inning for the Skunks. McGuire batting .233, .628 OPS. Here alongside Jacob Haynes from Seton Hill. Played the majority of the playoffs for that Seton Hill team at third base. So arrived a little bit late here to Jamestown, but has fit the mold right away. Trying to get back up to closer to his Seton Hill numbers, where he batted .317 with a .907 OPS. But he'll take ball 1 inside from Blandino. Blandino in his second year with the Americans. He has been a starter in both of those years. Here's the 1-0, is sent on the line drive into left field. It'll drop in front of Gavin Boyle for the base hit. Second hit of the day for the Skunks comes off the bat of Brady McGuire, who already will get his batting average just a little bit closer to where it was back at school. And another Brady will follow him up. This is Brady Marshall, the shortstop. These two Bradys also sharing the left side of the infield today. McGuire's at third. Marshall is at short. Marshall, a .258 hitter, will take strike 1 on the low part of the plate from Luke Blandino. And Brady Marshall has pretty much been in this 6-hole for most of the season. McGuire moved down to the 5-hole from the leadoff spot where he was for a good part of the year, and that's a fly ball into shallow center. Moore coming in. He'll be under it for the catch. Scurrying back to first base is Brady McGuire. He thought he might have second if that dropped, but he'll have to go back. Dom Costello up next. The DH, product of Gannon University, and a .357 hitter thus far for the Skunks. He's got a runner on first in the form of Brady McGuire. So 1 on, 1 out, as Blandino unsuccessfully tries for the pickoff at first base. And here's the first pitch to Costello. Big cut and miss. Blandino gets him to chase on strike 1. The breaking ball ends up outside, but The big swing nonetheless. Blandino with the count in his favor. Sets and now delivers. It's in the up high outside corner to make it ones across the board. Ball strikes outs against Costello. Played a lot of outfield for the Skunks this year, specifically in right, but tonight DHing, making way for Eric Weeks to play out there. And that'll go lower, but also away. And after a strike to start out the at-bat, Blandino's thrown 2 consecutive balls to Costello. In 2 very different spots, but a ball's a ball. And the 2-1 right here is sent into right field. And Core is coming for it, but it'll drop in front of him for the base hit. Runners on the corners now. With just 1 down, Blandino has some traffic for the first time today. At least first time today he's had multiple runners on base. Haynes was on second back in the first inning, but he was the lone base runner for that entire inning. Eric Weeks out of Canisius will bat next. Weeks batting .286 with an .809 OPS. A pretty cold start to the season, but he's really turned it around in the last week. Almost amazing that the Tarp Skunks haven't been able to come away with more wins, given how Bremner and Weeks, the duo of Canisius players here on the Skunks in this lineup, have played so well in this recent stretch. I mean, Weeks, that turnaround was much needed as he tips that foul to even up the count at 1. Dalton Harper letting it bounce in the turf before he's picking it up. And Weeks stepping back into the batter's box. 1 home run on the year. His teammate Bremner from Canisius has 2 here for the Skunks. So those guys have been leading the charge on home runs, but it's a big cut and miss for strike 2 on Weeks. Weeks has struggled against these Americans every time he's seen them. We'll see if tonight's any different. Against the right-hander Blandino. And those struggles against Niagara Falls were part of what were tanking his numbers early in the season. And that is chopped foul behind him. Eric Weeks had 4 homers over at Canisius and 20 RBIs. 1 homer and 3 RBIs so far for the Skunks. Takes the pitch up high to make it 2-2. 2 on, 1 down, and the count even at 2. In this top of the second, Blandino checking on the recently singling Dom Costello. McGuire now on third, and that'll go outside to fill up the count. Low and away, ball 3. A big moment for Eric Weeks, hoping to get one of his first hits against these Americans all season long. The payoff pitch is popped up into the shallow outfield, now heading a little bit deeper. And Grant Moore will make the catch. Tagging up is McGuire. He'll score on the sac fly. Tarp Skunks lead 1-0. And the Americans, who have dropped 4 of their last 5. My apologies, but no home run there, but the sac fly will make it 1-0 Jamestown. And the Americans, who have dropped 4 of their last 5, down to start again here, but they've shown they can come back against these Tarp Skunks. They were down 1-0 the last time they played. and ended up winning that game 7-4. With a 1-0 count. So Ty Lagoni playing second tonight. He's played all over the infield. Shortstop, third, you name it. And that finds the middle of the plate to even up the count. Ones across the board. Or rather, ones with 2 outs. The sac fly being out number 2. Blandino. Big cut and miss as the breaking ball gets Lagoni swinging at a pitch that fell too low in the end. And that one going to go outside to even up the count now. 2s across the board. As Blandino, the WPI product, returns to the bump. His only base runner is now Dom Costello, who's still at first base. Brady McGuire managed to score on the sac fly by Eric Weeks. And the pitch, swing and a miss. That'll end the inning right here. Blandino's 3rd strikeout of the day comes against Lagoni. We'll head to the bottom of the second after the break. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Bottom of the second inning here at Sal Magley. The Tarp Skunks take an early 1-0 lead on a sac fly that followed up a couple of knocks by the Skunks. And the score, just 1-0 as the Americans look to come back in this inning. And this season you can get yourself the latest Americans gear, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseballs, and much, much more. Stop by the merchandise stand, buy concessions at any home game, including today. Nick Past will kick things off for the Americans here against Easton Barnett. He'll be followed up. Oh, he's going to send that one right down the third base line. He is going to beat out the throw for the infield single. Brady McGuire served as the cutoff man, but the throw, or rather Brady Marshall, but the throw not in time. So, runner on first. It's the first hit of the day for the Americans. And Derek Jesmondi will be up next, due up alongside Brady Bowles and Past, who just singled. So it'll go Jesmondi, then Bowles, and barring outs there, Dalton Harper will have the shot in this inning. And that is on the outside corner for strike 1. Easton Barnett sent the Americans down 1-2-3 in the first inning. Now has given up his first hit of the day. Barnett looks down, now delivers. That's outside, and Past thought about second, but will hold up on ball 1. One's on the count now. Runner on first is Nick Past. Nobody out. Swing and a miss. Puts Jesmondi at the disadvantage here. Easton Barnett has already struck out one American. See if he can strike out a second right here in the form of Derek Jesmondi, the redshirt freshman in the transfer portal after a year at Mount St. Mary's. And Brady Bowles in the on-deck circle. That is tipped foul behind the plate to keep Jesmondi alive here. Gismondi, another frequent flyer when it comes to free 90s. And that'll get in there for the throw at first, but pass is safe. The 1-2, way outside, evens up the count. Gismondi this is his 6th game playing, and he has walked 9 times. So very patient hitter. We'll take another one upstairs and outside to fill up the count. Easton Barnett looking for his first out of the inning. Already gave up a single to Past. Looking to send down Gismondi right here on the full count. He checks on Past and now gets set for the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. And Past takes off for second. He will be safe there. So Barnett will get his second strikeout, but nonetheless, Past takes second base with the steal. So now a runner in scoring position for Brady Bowles, back in the lineup after a couple days off. Playing third tonight. 200 hitter, but 886 is his OPS. So he's got some power on him. And a check swing. He did not go around. That'll be ball 1. Brady Bowles, 1 extra base hit on the year. It was a double. Has also walked 7 times. So good mix of patience and power here for the Panola product, and he sends one up the middle. The fly ball into center field is caught by Dumas for the out. It's out number 2 in the inning. And now Dalton Harper looking to avoid stranding the runner here. Americans have just 1 hit on the day so far, looking to tie up the score. And if Harper can score past here, that will do it. Dalton Harper, 2nd-year American, batting .222 this season. Played first last night, now catching. The only American with an RBI last night. See if he can get the first for the team tonight. Takes the ball low, though. Harper gets on. Graydon Miller would be next. He's on deck. Connor Kiefer in the hole. 3 very capable hitters, so Barnett gonna have to take what he can get here as the wild pitch will send Nick past at third base. So getting closer and closer to home. Started off with the infield single, took second on a steal, and now third on a wild pitch. So he has been all over the bases tonight. Just hoping to be the first run plated for these Americans in the bottom of the 2nd. Easton Barnett's ERA is already at 7. Looking to avoid letting that get higher, but another one outside. The count is now at 3-0. And that'll be a 4-pitch walk of Dalton Harper. It's runners on the corners for Graydon Miller. Miller already has 7 RBIs on the season, had a 2-run double a couple days ago. 2 for 3 night with 3 RBIs against the Ironbacks on Saturday. This could be a big opportunity for some more runs driven in on his season as he takes a ball low from Barnett. A walk here would load up the bases for Connor Kiefer, but it is 2 down. So Miller cannot afford mistakes, neither can Kiefer, and that is fouled off on the pop-up for strike 1. Easton Barnett has only given up 1 hit, but also walking Harper. That's another one low to make it 2-1. Graydon Miller has had the count in his favor for most of this at bat. Product of Drury University. Will send that down the third base line past Brady Marshall for the base hit. Graydon Miller with RBI number 8 on the year. He'll knock in Nick Pass with the single. The Americans have tied things up here at Sal Magley. Graydon Miller, a timely single, sends Harper to second and Nick Pass home in time for Connor Kiefer to come up to the plate. Kiefer, the best batting average in the bottom half of the lineup at 300, an 817 OPS. 3-game hit streak for him. But he'll pop this one up into the shallow outfield, and backing up to make the catch is Ty Lagoni. So the Americans strain 2 but score 1. We'll head to the top of the third after these messages.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back early as we have a hot dog eating contest down on the field. We'll adjust the camera here to give you a view, but here we are. Some hot dogs being eaten down on the field. It's whoever can finish 3 first. And our guy in the blue shirt on the left is facing on a striped shirt man on the right side. Yankee Doodle Dan bringing hot dog number 2 to our fan on the left here. And Josh is at a great pace here. He has had 3 on the night. We'll see who's determined the winner in just a moment here.
Andrew, you got Ty Lagoni coming up?
No. Matt Dumas.
Dumas, yeah. What did Lagoni do?
Struck out.
No.
Josh is at a great pace here. Looks like he's going to win. Yes, Josh is the winner of the hot dog eating contest. Thanks to all our fans for showing up here on Dollar Hot Dog Night.
Leading off the third for
Get the
Skunks.
action back to the baseball field here for this top of the third inning. And it'll be Matthew Dumas to kick things off here for the Tarp Skunks. In this top of the third with the score tied. Landino's first pitch to Dumas is popped up foul for strike 1. And this third inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is sponsored by Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union, Geico of Buffalo, Sammy's Pizza, and McDonald's. And if the Americans score 3 runs tonight, every fan here will get a free McCafe Frappe. As it's 0-2 to the batter, Dumas. Matthew Dumas on the season is batting .261 with a .781 OPS. Been a very solid contributor, also has plenty of speed, 27 stolen bases at Lake Sumter State That's at the JUCO level. And it's 1-2 to him right now. So Dumas almost serving as a second leadoff here in the 10 hole. Takes ball 2 up and away. You do not want to let this guy get on the base paths because boy can he run. Similar to the Americans' own Grant Moore. Will be due up when we return for the Americans' part of this third inning, but it's at the feet of Dumas for ball 3. It'll be Ramos, Moore, and Core, the 3 batters due up in the bottom of the third here for Niagara Falls. But first, this top of the third, the payoff pitch from Blandino is sent on the line drive into right center field, and Grant Moore will come from center to make the catch for out number 1. Looked like it was going to drop in the gap, but Grant Moore says, not today.
Now batting leadoff hitter, first baseman number 14, Nolan Smith.
And Nolan Smith will bring it back to the top of the order here for the Skunks. He's 0 for 1. One of the 3 batters that Blandino struck out that first time through the order. We'll see if he can do it again here in the top of the third with the score tied and nobody on base. That'll get in there on the outside part of the zone to make it 0-1. Blandino is very fastball heavy in the first inning, then some more breaking balls last inning. Looking to find that balance here in the third. And there's a grounder. It'll be picked up by Kiefer at second, sent to Miller for out number 2. So a quick 2 down for the Skunks.
Now batting catcher number 16,
Blandino forcing soft contact with that one. That's always going to help your pitcher stay in the game longer. Luke Blandino facing his 12th batter today in the form of Jacob Haynes. With 2 down in the top of the third. Haynes 1 for 1, had the double in the first inning and takes a ball outside. Haynes counting his favor here against Blandino, looking to get on base for the second time today, and he'll send that a hard hit ball to Ramos, but it'll be in time at first for out number 3. Tarp Skunks go down 1-2-3 in this top of the third. We'll be right back. Alan Ramos, Grant Moore, and Evan Core due up for the Americans.
We're tied at 1. Hey folks, I mentioned that it is Dollar
I'm kind
Hot
of
Dog
thirsty.
Day, but
Me
we
too.
cannot live on hot
really
dogs
use some.
alone.
Yeah.
So anybody hungry for some pizza? We're going to send it to the empty duty
Thanks,
van.
Yankee Doodle Man.
Some pizza.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the third inning, and fans, do you know American season tickets are just $99? Come be a part of the fun this summer at Sal Magley Stadium. Stop by the concession stands and pick up your season tickets today to be a part of this historic season in Niagara Falls. So Easton Barnett will keep going for these Tarp Skunks, and if there's any indicator from previous Tarp Skunks starts, Easton Barnett will likely be in his last inning of action right here. First pitch from him, from Barnett to Ramos, is bunted, and that'll be in time for out number 1 at first base.
Now batting leadoff hitter, center fielder number 25, Grant Moore.
And here is Grant Moore. It's back to the top of the order for the Americans. He's 0 for 1 tonight, grounded out. And that is going to be in there for strike one on the breaking ball. And Grant Moore looking to expand upon his hit streak, sends one down the first base line, but it's picked up by Lagoni, and he will ground out to second for the second time tonight. It's 2 down. Grant Moore has gone down the same way both times up to bat. And here is Evan Core. Evan Core is batting .471. At least he was headed into the game. 0 for 1 tonight. The first pitch will get in there on the outside part of the plate for strike one. Barnett in this third inning has looked very smooth. Gave up the run in the second, but other than that, it has been a great night for him. As Core fouls one off into the first base side of the stands to make it 0-2 on Core. Now, this has been pretty much a pitcher's duel thus far. Only 1 run apiece for these teams. Otherwise, pitchers have been on top as it's ball 1 just outside to Core. Barnett delivers on the 1-2, and it is sent down the first base line. It's going to drop foul and out of reach for Nolan Smith, who was chasing after it briefly. Smith, the first baseman for the Skunks tonight. He's been busy with all these ground outs, and it's another pop-up coming Smith's way, and he will make the catch for out number 3. Americans go down 1-2-3. Top of the order has struggled a bit tonight, but we'll be back with the top of the 4th inning after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the 4th inning here from Sal Magley. It's tied at 1 between these teams. I'm Andrew Roberts, your play-by-play broadcaster for the entire season, and this 4th inning is sponsored by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 237, by Johnny Ryan, and by Coca-Cola. And with any home run hit for the Americans this season, the player will get a free case of Johnny Ryan sodas. Coca-Cola here at the ballpark can be found at concessions. Get your favorite Coke beverages right there. Luke Blandino will keep pitching. He's had 3 innings of 1-run ball thus far. And in this inning, it'll be Justin Bremner to kick things off. The defending PGCBL Player of the Week here in the West Division. He'll be followed up by Nathan Borchert and Brady McGuire. So 3-4-5 for the Skunks. Jacob Haynes was retired for the first time tonight to end the 3rd inning. And Justin Bremner will come up. Now tonight, in a way, it's been a battle between the first 2 PGCBL position players of the week here in the West Division. Grant Moore for the Americans, Justin Bremner for the Skunks. Neither one has gotten a hit yet, though. We'll have to see who can buck the trend against 2 excellent pitchers in Blandino and Barnett, arguably the best pitchers in their respective rotations. And the pitch from Blandino will go outside for ball 1. Blandino already struck out Bremner once today. He had 2 punch-outs back in the 1st inning. Smith and Bremner were the victims. as that finds the strike zone on the breaking ball. It's 1-1. Bremner, one of two Canisius players here in the Tarp Skunks lineup, and they've had an excellent week collectively. Have combined for 3 home runs total on the year. 2 of them have come since the last time these teams faced off a bit over a week ago. The 2-1 from Blandino will go low. And what appears to be a sinker just sinks a little bit too far. So 3-1 count for Bremner. Looking to get on the base paths for the first time today. And that'll be sent down the first base line. Foul, Miller chasing after it, but it'll drop in front of him. That's going to even up the count. Graydon Miller holding up after seeing that was pretty far out of reach. But a full count for Blandino on Bremner. And another tight battle between the two of them tonight. They've been battling all night. Blandino won the first round. Who will win here on the payoff pitch? Here it is. And he went on that one. Strike 3 on Justin Bremner. Blandino has struck him out twice tonight. Never mind. That'll be called ball 4. The check swing, but they'll say he did not go. Nathan Borchert is up next. And Blandino now has a runner on first after they say that check swing was not enough to qualify for the strikeout. And that is popped foul over the press box for strike 1. Blandino has struck out 3 tonight. Now gives up his first walk at the mercy of Bremner. And there's a grounder to Miller at first. Out at second, but in time at first base is the runner, Nathan Borchert. So Borchert on first on the fielder's choice.
Stepping in, third baseman number 30, Brady McGuire.
It's 1 down. And 1 on here. In this 4th inning, the runner is Borchert. Bremner was tagged out at second. Ramos heading over to cover the base. And Brady McGuire, the next customer. 1 for 1 on the day, singled in the 2nd inning. He almost gets hit. That'll be a wild pitch. But did not appear to hit him. Nonetheless, taking second base is Nathan Borchert. And Brady McGuire, a little shaken up by that, but we'll step back in with 2 balls now in the count. Pitch from Blandino is low and away. It's been 3 consecutive balls here to the batter McGuire. Already has a hit off Blandino today, and now a runner in scoring position, so an incentive for him to get hit number 2 and drive in a run. But that'll find the inside part of the plate for strike 1. 1 down. The sole base runner is Borchert at second base. Took second on the wild pitch after reaching on the fielder's choice. And that is popped up. It is going to go way foul, drop into the stands on the first base side, and kids are fighting over it. It is picked up by a friend of the Minecraft shirted kid who got a ball earlier. He's been running all over the park to get baseballs tonight. They can be exchanged for snacks over at concessions, but ball 4, the 4th ball out of 5, and the at-bat against Brady McGuire will put 2 on with 1 down for Brady Marshall. Marshall 0 for 1. Was retired in between hits by McGuire and Costello back in the 2nd inning. But big moment for him with 2 ducks on the pond, and Blandino checking back at second base. Now that one over the head of the batter Marshall for ball 1. Blandino going to meet with Dalton Harper. These two have played together on the Americans for 2 seasons now, and they will conference on likely on Blandino's command of the plate, looking to refine it here. We mix up the pitch arsenal a little bit here against the batter Brady Marshall, product of Kent State. 222 hitter over there, 258 headed into the game here in the PGCBL. Marshall has had a lot of balls head his way at short. Can he put one in play here for the Tarp Skunks? The pitch will go outside. Makes it 2-0. Blandino has thrown 6 balls out of 7 now over the last 2 at-bats. Looking to rebound after that mound meeting, but one more ball right there, right after his conference with Harper. He checks on Borchard at second. Now he'll fake the pickoff attempt. That'll scare him into running back. And McGuire as well was snug with the space for a moment there. Now both runners taking their lead back as ball 3 on the wild pitch gets past Dalton Harper. It's 2 runners in scoring position now with 1 down. Blandino in a tough spot, and those wild pitches certainly aren't helping. Also a 3-0 count. A walk would load the bases for Dom Costello. He's the DH tonight. Had a home run back at Gannon. Do not want to load the bases for him. And that'll get in there right down the pike for strike 1. Blandino talking about attacking the zone heading into tonight. Always seems to be his strategy, just looking to get back on target here with the 3-1 count. Pitch, swing and a miss to make it a full count. So the full count now. An opportunity for Blandino to recover from what was once a 3-0 hole. The payoff pitch will go upstairs, and that is a 2nd consecutive walk given up by Blandino. The bases are juiced. The Skunks looking to take the lead back after going up 1-0 early. Dom Costello up next, and it's 1 down, so decent situation for both sides here. Force plays available for the Americans, but the Skunks, a big opportunity with just 1 down. And that is popped up in foul territory, and that'll drop in front of Brady Bowles, the 3rd baseman. Alan Ramos also chasing after it. But it's strike one in the at-bat against Costello. A strikeout would be massive here for Luke Blandino. He's struck out 3 tonight, and Costello has not been one of them just yet. Costello, pinch hit the first time facing the Americans, was in the lineup last Tuesday in Jamestown, and now in the lineup tonight. And the line drive up the middle will be caught by Moore for out number 2. And tagging up for the run is Nathan Borchert. So Borchert scores. It's 2-1 Skunks. Both of Jamestown's runs today have come on sac flies. Meanwhile, the Americans drove one in on a Graydon Miller single. One of those sac flies came off the bat of Weeks, the other off of Costello, and look who it is now, Eric Weeks with 2 down. Blandino looking to get out of this inning without any more damage, and that is ball 1 outside. A walk would reload the bases. It would be a lot given up by Blandino in this inning. He's walked 3 on the day. Bremner was the first walk given up. So all 3 walks have come in this inning. The pitch is going to be popped up. It'll go behind home plate in foul territory. Drop in the stands for a strike. Blandino. A 1-to-1 strikeout walk ratio right now. Looking to get that back in his favor with a strikeout here. And Blandino checking a couple times on the runner. And on the upstairs ball at the helmet of Eric Weeks. The runners will hold right here. McGuire and Marshall are on base. Both of them walked. And McGuire taking off. Now Marshall behind him. And on the strike, it'll be a double steal for the Tarp Skunks. So once again, 2 runners in scoring position. The Skunks already drove 1 in this inning on the sac fly. Put 2 down now, so much less wiggle room for Eric Weeks, who has had a sac fly already tonight, but that is a full count now on Eric Weeks. So big moment for Luke Blandino. Full count, 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position. The payoff pitch in just a moment here could be very decisive in the outcome of this game. The pitch is outside, and it's another walk for Blandino, the 4th this inning. The bases are juiced again, this time for Ty Lagoni, who Blandino's already struck out once. Can he do it again? Curb your enthusiasm playing for Lagoni. And Will Cordero will come in to meet with Blandino now. There's been a lot of traffic on the base paths here in this 4th inning. Doesn't appear to be action in the Americans' bullpen just yet. This will just be a meeting to help Blandino refine his momentum here. Gave up just 1 run in the first 3 innings. Now another earned run in this 4th. They've come in the even innings for the Skunks tonight. The Americans will look to strike back in the bottom of the inning when Gavin Boyle will be due up first. Blandino will send strike 1 to the outside part of the plate. So already the meeting with Cordero seems to have eased his mind. in a stressful situation with the bases juiced. Swing and a miss. Gets Lagoni to chase. Can he strike out Lagoni for the second time tonight? Already has him in an 0-2 hole. With the bases loaded, Blandino, a big opportunity. Here's the pitch. And that'll be upstairs for ball one. Strike three, gonna have to at least wait a little longer here for the right-hander. It's a right-on-right matchup with Ty Lagoni. His 3 strikeout victims, 2 of them have been righties, 1 the lefty Smith. Looking for number 4 right here, but that'll go way low and away to even up the count. Blandino had Lagoni in an 0-2 hole, but he's shown some good patience here to climb back in this. Brady McGuire thought about home. Did not go. The 2-2 with 2 down is sent up the middle, fielded by Kiefer. He'll get the easy out at second. That'll end the inning. Blandino escaping with just 1 run allowed, despite the bases loaded. Tarp Skunks lead 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the 4th inning, and fans, this season you can connect with the Americans like never before if you follow us on our social media platforms. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. As usual, want to shout out our social media managers here this season, Frankie Morris and Leah Fraun, for keeping that up and running all season long. It'll be Gavin Boyle, Nick Past, and Derek Jesmondi due up for these Americans. Gavin Boyle looking for his first hit of the season. Had some great results at the plate last year. Batted .281 with an .860 OPS, but tonight, thus far, Gavin Boyle stands at 0 for 1. Boyle, one of a handful of SUNY Niagara players on this team, the 3rd SUNY Niagara hitter to join the team alongside Corin Harper. A lot of the pitching staff also made up of the Thunderwolves team, as it's ball 1 at the feet of Gavin Boyle. Boyle was part of the 1-2-3 inning in the first. And it's 2 balls on him in that similar spot, the low inside corner. He has not bit on either. The pitch is sent foul. And it is indeed still Easton Barnett on the bump for the Skunks. This will be one of his longer outings of the season. But why not keep him in if he is smooth sailing through 3 innings? And it's another outside ball. The Tarp Skunks do, in fact, have some bullpen action, but that is sent down into right center field for the base hit. The ground ball will get Boyle his first hit of the season. Gavin Boyle living up to the hype thus far. He's 1 for 2 on the night now. We're going to start something here in the bottom of the 4th to at least tie the game back up for the Americans. They're down 2-1. Last scored in the second. It's been another kind of pattern game for these teams. Runs have scored in even-numbered innings. Odd-numbered innings, it has been zeros across the board. Nick Past already has a hit today, looking for his second to advance Gavin Boyle, and fouls one off for strike 1 behind him. So Pass singled to lead off the second inning. Now has a runner on first here in this fourth against Barnett. And warming up for the Tarp Skunks is Jack Bracken. Would be his first appearance of the year. He comes from Seton Hill. He also has multi-inning ability. Went 2-2 with a 1.17 ERA back in high school. 34 punch-outs. The pitch from Barnett. Appears to have hit Nick Past on the hands. Yes, Past taking his bases. Runners on first and second for the Americans. Derek Gismondi up next with some traffic on the base paths. Easton Barnett struggling here in his fourth inning of work, and now starting to wonder how much longer Barnett has in this game. Not used to going more than 3 innings. The first pitch is inside. Gismondi showed bunt, but it went under him and too close to him for a hittable baseball. Gismondi, a very patient hitter who has walked 9 times. A walk would load the bases right here. And he shows bunt right there. It'll drop fair and the out at first, but the runner's going to try and advance. Boyle sliding into third. He is in time safely. It's runners on second and third for the Americans. The successful sacrifice bunt by Derek Gismondi. So it's 1 down. And runners on second and third. 2 in scoring position for the batter, Brady Bowles. Brady Bowles 0 for 1 on the night. Got a compliment over in Auburn that he has the best name on the team. I mean, Brady Bowles does have quite a ring to it. Product of Panola. Will be in there for ball 1. Barnett looking to avoid letting these runners in scoring position make it home, as it's a big cut and miss for Brady Bowles to even up the count. 1's across the board. Ball strikes outs. Each team has 3 hits today. The successful sacrifice advancing the runners here in this 4th inning. And there is a strike on the breaking ball from Barnett. Looked like it was going high at first, then dropped. Runners have a lead. The pitch is upstairs to make it 2-2. Count back even. Passed on second after getting hit. Gavin Boyle led off the inning with a single, looking to come home. Can Brady Bowles drive him in? No, he swings and misses. That's strike 3 and out number 2 for these Americans. It'll be Dalton Harper up next. Harper walked his first time up. Had an RBI yesterday against Newark, the only player to do so on these Americans. And on the year is batting .222, looking for his 2nd consecutive game with an RBI knock. But right now it's ball 1 in the low outside corner to Harper. Potential for even 2 RBIs here with runners on second and third. Dalton Harper with 1 ball in the count. Stepping back in. Sends it down the first base line. And that is going to drop foul. Closer than some of these other foul balls tonight. It was certainly a rocket off the bat, but just a little far foul. And the right fielder, Eric Weeks, will throw it into the bullpen to help out Jack Bracken. Bracken likely set to make his first appearance as a Tarp Skunks pitcher. Here's the pitch from Barnett. It'll be another breaking ball, but this one stays up high for ball 2. And the Tarp Skunks now have a second reliever in the pen in the form of Brendan Klein, another reliever yet to debut this season. And that'll get in there on another breaking ball for strike one. Easton Barnett has favored the breaking ball in this inning. And it's had mixed results. 2 down, 2 on. Both runners in scoring position. One of the outs came on a sac bunt to advance them, and it's going to be a pitch that briefly gets away from the catcher, Jacob Haynes, but the runners will hold at second and third. Coming home just too risky for Gavin Boyle, with the catcher Haynes waiting the ball not too far from him. If it really went wild, then maybe you see the run score for the Americans, but a big moment here for the catcher, Harper. Down 1 run, do not want to strand these runners. The pitch is going to be a dribbler, and it'll be bobbled by the pitcher, Barnett. A run coming in to score on the error. Actually going to be ruled a hit by our scorer, Riley Drew Cross. Softly hit enough that essentially serves as a swinging bunt for Dalton Harper. And it's runners on the corners for Graydon Miller, who already has an RBI today. Dalton Harper will get credit for the hit and credit for the RBI. It's his second straight night for an RBI with an RBI knock. And now, big meeting on the mound. This might be it for Barnett with so much action in the bullpen. And the score tied. Might be a smart move. We'll see who comes in here, or if Barnett will hang in there. And no one coming out of the pen just yet. The righty Barnett will hang in there to face the righty Graydon Miller with 2 down and runners on the corners. Those runners being Dalton Harper as well as Nick Pass. Gavin Boyle coming in to score. On the knock by Harper, a dribbler in the shallow infield. Now a 1-1 count. Graydon Miller already has an RBI hit tonight, looking for his second. That'll get in there on the low part of the plate for strike 2, and the decision to trust Easton Barnett against Miller paying off thus far. Miller's down in the count. 1 strike away from this inning ending right here. The pitch will be lined foul down the first base line, and Harper had made the slide into second, but he's going to have to go back. Dalton Harper eager for a stolen base here. The catcher is on first, and Nick Pass, yesterday's catcher who's DHing, is on third base for the first baseman, Miller. That is a dribbler in the infield, but they'll call it foul. So Miller's still alive in the at-bat. No outs recorded. It's 1-2. Still here in the count. Graydon Miller, another second-year American. Back here alongside Harper and Boyle in this lineup. Jake Hollins was also here briefly, but he left after a couple of weeks. But a swing and miss by Graydon Miller will end this 4th inning. It's back tied at 2, and we'll see who comes out for the 5th to pitch. We'll be right back. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. back for, yes, Dumas. Back for the top of the 5th inning. Matthew Dumas will be due up first here for the Tarp Skunks, as I confirm with our public address announcer, Doc Fonts. But this 5th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is brought to you by Tropical Heating and Cooling. Call 716-870-0753 for expert service. And Dumas will be due up alongside the top 2 in the order here, Smith and Haynes. We've got some jokes in the chat as well. What did the baseball say to the hot dog at the game? You're on a roll. A good one by Jax. Lots of hot dog themed puns here tonight. Here we are, Matthew Dumas up to bat in this top of the 5th inning to face Luke Blandino. Blandino has given up runs in the even innings, has had clean odd innings that is lined up the middle, and it'll drop between Moore and the shortstop Ramos for a base hit. It is the first time that Dumas has reached base today. Nolan Smith also looking to reach base himself for the first time. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Came into the game batting .359, but today is taking a hit on his average just a little bit, as Dumas has the lead at first. He is a big threat to steal bases, but can't steal there on the foul ball down the third base line. Matthew Dumas, 27 steals at his junior college, Lake Sumter State. Has the lead once again on the 0-1. Blandino will check on him. Sure, he knows how big a threat Dumas is, and he will take off as another one is sent into the outfield over the head of Connor Kiefer for the base hit. It's now runners on the corners. Dumas heading all the way to third. He had taken off. And the Tarp Skunks have 2 hits in this inning alone. Luke Blandino has given up 5 hits now. Walked 4 on the night. And Jacob Haynes up next. Haynes is 1 for 2. And the check swing, they will say he went for strike 1. Jacob Haynes comes here from Seton Hill, one of a few on this Tarp Skunks team, including Jack Bracken, who was warming up. That is popped foul to make it 0-2. Drops in the metal bleachers here. Hence the thunk. But Dumas, the speedster at third, looking to come home. Despite the 0-2 hole for Jacob Haynes, the pitch will go low in the dirt, but doesn't get too far away from Harper, so Dumas holding up at third base. It's 1-2. Blandino has thrown 85 pitches in 4 innings plus. Haynes will take the 1-2 near his bat, but doesn't touch it. Count is even at 2s now. Score is also even at 2s, but the Tarp Skunks looking to score their third after 2 early hits in this inning. 2, the magic number here in this 5th inning. And that'll fill up the count on the low outside, ball 3. Runners on the corners. Full count. Blandino, another big moment. A walk would load the bases. A strikeout would be the first out of the inning. And it's a swing and miss. He got him for strike 3, out number 1. It's the 4th strikeout of the day for Dino. As Justin Bremner will come up next. 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. We'll see if Blandino can get his second strikeout in a row against a familiar victim. It'd be a huge strikeout. I mean, to make it 2 down with a runner in scoring position is very nice, but he will hit the batter, Justin Bremner, and now Bremner has yet to make contact tonight because he's struck out once, walked once, and now getting another free bag on the hit by pitch. It's been a rocky inning here for Blandino. And I mean, on the bright side here, the silver lining for the Americans is that all force plays are available with 1 down here and Nathan Borchard up. He's 0 for 1, or 0 for 2 rather. Came around to score on a fielder's choice. And already back up after coming up in the 4th inning. Borchert, a big moment for these Skunks. Bases loaded, just 1 down. Cannot strike out here if you're Borchert. Blandino has struck out all 3 of the top hitters in the order, has not struck out Borchert yet. It'll be a ball upstairs to put the count in Borchert's favor. Product of King University. Unlike a lot of guys on this Tarp Skunks team, he's the only player from his college on this team. And that is lined down the first base line. It'll be caught for the out by Evan Core, and the throw will be in time to first base to record the double play. Ends the inning. Evan Core has a cannon for an arm out in right field. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the 5th, and fans, do you or someone you know have a birthday coming up? Why not spend it with the Americans? Packages include 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, customized Wegmans cake, autographed Americans baseballs, and special recognition at the game. Starting at just $175. Sign up online at www.niagarafallsamericans.com. Sponsored by Wegmans and Sammy's Pizza. Wegmans also sponsors our Kids Run. We'll keep it here at the end of this 5th inning to see if Yankee Doodle Dan can keep his undefeated record in the Kids Run here at Sal Magley. Dan will be in a hot dog hat today as opposed to his usual Uncle Sam hat, but Connor Kiefer will lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning, followed by Alan Ramos and the true leadoff man in this Americans order, Grant Moore. Connor Kiefer, a 3-game hit streak, looking to extend it. Kiefer, product of Alfred State. The only Division III athlete in the lineup for the Americans today. Takes the pitch from Barnett for the ball. Kiefer will swing at that one, and it is foul. 1-2. Easton Barnett at just 56 pitches here in the 5th inning. It's his longest outing to date. Kiefer gonna send that up the middle. It'll drop for the base hit. Connor Kiefer's hit streak is up to 4 games. Quietly been one of the best hitters in the back of the Americans order. Kiefer batted .325 over at Alfred State. Didn't see those same results over in Jamestown last summer, but getting revenge on his former team, the Tarp Skunks, with the base hit. It's Alan Ramos up next, playing shortstop tonight, as he has been the last few appearances he's made. Kiefer heads for second, and he will be caught there for out number one. Connor Kiefer caught stealing on the pitch to Ramos, but nonetheless, despite getting picked off, Connor Kiefer's hit streak is now at 4 games. Doesn't matter too much to the outcome of the game, as he was the only base runner. Bases now empty for Alan Ramos. 2-0 on the count. The breaking ball upstairs for ball 2. Here's the 2-0, and it's another one sent up the middle. That'll drop in the gap for the base hit between center and right field. And a runner back on first base for the Americans in the form of Alan Ramos. Is hit number 6 for the Americans here tonight. They're now ahead of Jamestown's number in that category. And Grant Moore, with the runner on, will come up to bat for the 3rd time today. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts to second, but takes ball 1 up and away. Grant Moore, his hit streak has gone since the very first game, looking to keep it going and advance Alan Ramos. Product of Mount Vernon Nazarene University, stayed local. He grew up in Ohio, goes to school about 30 minutes from home. Had his dad in town over the last few games. Actually traveled with the team to Newark. Gave Moore some post-game advice. After the pickoff attempt at first is unsuccessful, the next pitch to Moore will be in there on the breaking ball for a strike. Easton Barnett with some great off-speed pitches. And it's a 1-1 count to Moore. Ramos with a lead. See if Barnett checks on him again before delivering. It's a brief look over there, but he'll throw ball 2 upstairs. Seems Barnett's attention is divided here in the at-bat with Moore. Moore, if he can get on, has 12 stolen bases. And that is sent into foul territory and is chased after by Brady McGuire. He slides, but it is out of reach for him. Count is even at 2. Grant Moore batting .462 headed into this game. 1161 OPS, 9 ribbies, 12 steals. And a 11 game hit streak that he can expand to 12 with a knock right here. The 2-2 pitch from Barnett will go on the low outside corner. Count is full on Moore. Can Grant Moore reach base for the 12th consecutive game, or will he go down here on a strike 3? The payoff pitch from Barnett in just a moment will be outside, and it is ball 4 as Ramos was already headed to second before the walk, but he'll automatically have it thanks to that. So Grant Moore does expand his on-base streak to 12. We'll see if he can do the same for his hit streak later in the game, but Evan Core with 2 on and 1 out up next for the Americans. Leading the team in batting average and OPS headed into this game. He takes the ball low. Easton Barnett has now walked 2 Americans tonight. The first being Dalton Harper. And now Grant Moore. And another breaking ball that goes low and away to make it 2-0. Evan Core made an excellent play on defense, completing a double play from right field to first. We'll see if he can follow that up with some good offense here. Both runners have a lead. Moore and Ramos could be a double steal threat as it's 3-0 in the count to Evan Core. They would advance anyways if Core's able to walk on 4 pitches right here. But Easton and Barnett looking to refine the strike zone with the 3-0 count. It gets in there on the low outside corner to make it 3-1. Core has struck out once today. He's 0 for 2. Looking to get on base for the first time in this game. Runners go. Core will send that on the line drive into left field. Everybody's going to have to hurry back. But the throw will not be there in time to catch Grant Moore headed back to first. It will be out number 2, though. Gavin Boyle with 2 on and 2 out. A big moment for him. But first, a meeting on the mound. Appears it'll be a new pitcher, Frank Jagoda, the manager, coming out for the second time. And now a pitcher coming out from the bullpen. That new pitcher is Will Taylor. A 27 ERA on the year. 2 strikeouts. Had an ERA of 2 over at Trinity University, Texas, Division III school, but has struggled thus far as a Tarp Skunk, and this is not an easy situation to walk into. You've got 2 runners on, and Gavin Boyle up to bat, who's already 1 for 2 tonight. Came around to score an inning ago, and also had 4 homers for the Americans last year. One of his home runs famously in our intro video here on the Americans Baseball Network. A great call by Carson Harper, last year's Americans broadcaster. Hoping to have some home run calls for Gavin Boyle myself this year. But right now, the game is tied at 2 with 2 runners on and 2 out. So 2 once again, the magic number. The Americans looking to get a 3rd run in here at least with Boyle up to bat. As Taylor warms up, the lefty coming in to face the left-handed Gavin Boyle. A smart move by the Tarp Skunks. Only a few lefties here in this Tarp Skunks pen. Jace Rutkowski and Mark Holm. A couple of other lefties that have also seen action. Colin Bola as well, and Cole Swachow. The only other lefties besides those 3 to see action for Jamestown in the pitching staff. Gavin Boyle with runners on first and second, and Grant Moore already has a big lead. Alan Ramos taking his own at second base. As Brady Marshall keeping eyes on him, the shortstop for these Tarp Skunks. Slight shift on Boyle to the right side rather, but that's outside for ball 1. Boyle, one of the biggest bats in this Americans order. Back after a 2-week absence. Takes the pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Americans opened up their season exactly 2 weeks ago today in Batavia. They got the win there. Ripped off 6 in a row. Now have lost 4 of 5. Looking to get right here with a victory against Jamestown, who they've already beat twice, but a big cut and miss for Gavin Boyle. It's strike 2. And this is the first batter that Will Taylor has seen, and he's 1 strike away from ending the inning right here. Barnett went 4 2/3. And now Will Taylor in for the Skunks with 2 on. Big swing and a miss. Gavin Boyle strikes out to end the inning. And we'll head to the top of the 6th. Will Taylor getting the Skunks out of the jam. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back here early for the kids run, and Yankee Doodle Dan has another huge lead. But a girl right behind him, he will win nonetheless. Takes his hot dog hat off as he celebrates another victory. Yankee Doodle Dan in home game number 5, or rather 6 for these Americans, is now 5-0. As it's a new pitcher for the Americans. After 5 innings from Luke Blandino, Austin Barton will take things over. 6.75 ERA, 5 punch-outs. Barton, not to be confused with the Tarp Skunks starter, Easton Barnett, comes from SUNY Niagara, alongside a good portion of this American's pen. It'll be Brady McGuire, as well as Brady Marshall and Dom Costello, due up in the inning. And Barton warms up. We go from 66 to 33 on the mound. Shares a number with the Tarp Skunks manager, Frank Jagoda, who's heading back out to third base. 33 also serves as third base coach. Oh, fun number coincidence right there. And that last inning ended with a clutch strikeout by Will Taylor. He stepped in for Easton Barnett after 4 2/3. Strikes out Gavin Boyle on his 3rd time up this season. Boyle already has a hit today. But Brady McGuire will kick things off here for the Skunks. McGuire, 1 for 1, also walked, so he's reached base every time up today. Some confusion between the umpires here. Will be cleared up before McGuire steps in as the first to face Austin Barton today. Barton throws one outside to kick things off here in the top of the 6th inning. Next pitch also goes in that low away corner. It's 2 consecutive balls to start off Barton's work tonight at Sal Magley. Pitch from Barton. This one, an over adjustment, goes inside. It's now 3-0. And it's a 4-pitch walk. Austin Barton giving up a free bag to start off his day. Not exactly what you want to see, but a chance to rebound here against Brady Marshall. It's a duo of Brady's here for the Skunks to kick off this inning. That also happened a few innings ago. Led to a pretty good 2nd inning here for them. They scored a run in that inning. And we'll see if the trend continues of even numbered innings leading to runs. It's been essentially binary code up on the scoreboard, 0s and 1s. And alternating innings as that one goes way inside and got a piece of Brady Marshall. So it's now 2 Bradys on the base paths. And Austin Barton, a brief meeting with Harper here to get right after 2 free 90s allowed. And while this meeting takes place, we'll get you some scores across the PGCBL in just a moment here. The Muck Dogs leading the Newark Pilots 3-0. Would be only the second loss of the year for Newark. And the Pioneers in Doubledays knotted at 7. They're competing for that third seed in the West Division. And it has been a slugfest thus far in Elmira. Niagara and Geneva rained out. Over in the East Division, Glens Falls and Socrates are scoreless. Amsterdam and Utica in Game 2 after the Mohawks won 5-1 in a continuation, or rather rescheduling from June 5th. That's ball 1 at the feet of the batter Dom Costello. Costello comes in with 2 Brady's on the base paths. Both have a big lead. It's an outside ball 2. Barton looking for his first out. After 5 strong from Blandino, just 2 runs earned. And it is way inside to make it 3-0. Austin Barton has struggled in his command of the strike zone here so far tonight. Barton looking for his first strike in this count, and he gets it on the outside corner. A lot of these SUNY Niagara pitchers have thrived off of painting the corners, but the accuracy has been 50-50 here for the most part. Barton looking for another strike, gets it in a similar spot, and a lot of these pitchers, like I was getting at before the pitch, once they find that spot on the edges of the zone, they can just keep hitting it for strike after strike, and it'll keep fooling batters. Runners start to take off, but hold up, and it's ball 4 for Dom Costello. That one goes a little further outside, so now the bases are juiced for Eric Weeks. Eric Weeks comes here from Canisius alongside Justin Bremner. A walk and a sac fly tonight. So his batting average still at .286 on his 3rd plate appearance of the night. Austin Barton found 2 strikes in that last at-bat, looking for more here, but it's 2 balls to kick things off against Weeks. Eric Weeks has already reached base once, and that did come on a walk. Looking to walk for the 2nd time tonight. And if there's a walk here, it would score a run for the Tarp Skunks. Not what you want to see. Just 4 batters in for Austin Barton. And there it is. The run is walked in for the Tarp Skunks. They are now up 3-2 over the Americans, and the pattern on the scoreboard continues. See if the Americans can match it in the bottom of the 6th, but right now, Will Cordero coming out to meet with Barton after he gave up 4 consecutive free 90s. A rough start to his outing here. And the Americans are out hitting the Skunks 6-5, but these free bags are just really helping out Jamestown. They have the bases juiced still with nobody out, and a run scoring in this inning already as Ty Lagoni will be up next. As 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Barton will hang in there for now, but spoken to by Cordero after 4 consecutive batters led on to walk in a run. Not how you want to start your relief outing if you're Austin Barton. And that'll find the outside corner for strike 1 this time. Facing the righty, Lagoni will pitch him right over the lefty batter's box. That's a line drive. Will drop for the base hit. And this is why you don't give up free bags, because runs are going to come in the minute you start giving up hits. The Tarp Skunks score run number 4 on the RBI single by Ty Lagoni. His first hit of the night. It'll bring up Matthew Dumas, who's 1 for 2 himself. Dumas still with loaded bases and nobody out to face Austin Barton, who has let 5 consecutive batters on, the first 4 on free bags and then the 5th on a hit. And oh, he is going to hit Matthew Dumas. Another run coming in. It has been bordering on disaster here in the first inning of work for Barton. He'll meet again with Dalton Harper, and he has just had a rough day. Harper spent time with him over at SUNY Niagara in the spring. But 1 hit, as well as a bunch of walks and a batter hit now. To be precise, Barton has given up 3 walks. And now hits a man. Next up is the leadoff man, Nolan Smith, and he will have the bases still juiced with nobody out. He can really blow this game open. The Americans had this knotted at 2, but this game hopefully not going to get away from him here with Austin Barton. Given up 3 runs already and now has 2 balls on the count. To the batter, Nolan Smith. The pitch will be on the corner. It'll be called ball 3. A 4-pitch walk here would drive in another run. And there it is. 6-2 Jamestown. They've scored 4 in this inning alone. Austin Barton has walked 4. In addition to that, giving up a single and hitting 2 batters. Which is not what you want to see from Barton. Some high potential. He's struck out 5 on the season, but things can really stack up for him. Jacob Haynes takes strike 1 on the inside part of the plate. Barton finally throwing a strike after a lot of balls in a row. Looks for another here, and no, that'll be upstairs. 1-1 count. Barton had the 0-1 edge. One of the first advantages he's had tonight in a count, and finds the opposite corner to make it 1-2. Barton has bases loaded, force plays available, but no outs yet. That is way upstairs to even up the count back at 2. 4 earned runs in this inning alone, and he hasn't recorded an out here. So his ERA has gone up significantly as the count fills up on the ball in the dirt. Austin Barton. It's been rough out here. The Americans looking to avoid their 5th loss out of 6. And this inning is certainly not helping. The pitch is flown into left center field. It's going deep. And it is going to get out of here. The grand slam by the batter, Eric Weeks. Jacob Haynes, excuse me. Haynes with his first home run of the year certainly had the power And he scores all 4 runners. It's now 10-2 Skunks. My goodness, this has escalated fast. Spartan will be done, it appears. On a whim, coming out of the game after the grand slam allowed to Jacob Haynes, his first home run of the season. And the new pitcher is Matthew Kasperwitz.
Now on the mound for the Americans is number 35 from SUNY Niagara, Matthew Kasper.
Another SUNY Niagara pitcher with now the bases empty. 0-1 on the year, 7.20 ERA, 1 strikeout. Was very effective out of the pen. Struggled in his 1 start of the year against the Doubledays. But the Tarp Skunks now up 10-2 on these Americans. They've scored 8 runs in this inning alone. A lot of those coming on free bags, but then an RBI single and the grand slam by Jacob Haynes. The Tarp Skunks 2 runs away from the mercy rule. That could be enforced in 10 runs after 7 innings. And Matthew Kasperwitz, the third pitcher tonight for the Americans, Austin Barton, unable to record a single out in his time in the game. It was a very rough night for him. So he gives up 8 runs in what is still just a total of 5 1/3 innings pitched on the season. His earned run total is up to 12. His ERA will balloon over 20 with that outing. And Kasperwitz looking to keep things in check here with the bases now empty. It's Justin Bremner up first. He has 2 home runs of his own this season. That leads the Tarp Skunks. Also leads the team with a whopping 16 RBIs, but no one to drive in here but potentially himself if it's back-to-backs against the new pitcher. First pitch from Kasperwitz is in there for strike 1 down the pike, a little bit inside, but well into the strike zone, as his command is sharp thus far tonight. The 0-1 from Kasperwitz is going to be a fly ball into shallow right center field, and Evan Core will come in to make the basket catch for out number 1. So already Matthew Kasperwitz having better results than Austin Barton here in this 6th inning. Will Cordero pulling out Barton on the fly after the grand slam by Jacob Haynes. It's the second grand slam seen at Sal Maglie this season. The first came off the bat of Paul Delanto against Geneva a week ago, but it's a much different story 1 week later. And the Americans looking to avoid their 5th loss out of 6, but 2 strikes in the count now to the batter Borchert. Nathan Borchert sits at 0 for 3 on the night, grounded into fielder's choice on his sole time reaching base. And that is another one fouled off. The Americans have matched the Tarp Skunks every inning so far in this game. 8 runs is going to be hard to match here in the bottom of the 6th, but that goes low for a ball to Borchert. 1 down. Kasperwitz 1 strike away from his 2nd in the form of the extra hitter Borchert. The pitch will get in there for strike 3. Kasperwitz has his first strikeout of the night. Nathan Borchert sent packing. Brady McGuire up next. Came into the game batting .233, but has 6 RBIs on the season. And Brady McGuire right away is hit. So another runner on for these Americans. The free bags are running wild for the Tarp Skunks in this inning. Brady Marshall up next. So it's back-to-back Bradys as the Tarp Skunks have batted around in this inning. First pitch will go inside for the ball. And that one is going to get a piece of Brady Marshall. It's 2 consecutive hit batsmen after 2 outs recorded by Kasperwitz, and more traffic on the base paths here in this inning. The inning started off with Brady McGuire, who walked, and Brady Marshall has now been hit twice in the same inning. Not something you see every day. By 2 different pitchers as well, and that's a fly ball. It'll drop in front of Moore for the base hit. Runner coming around to score is Brady McGuire, and sliding into second in time. The Americans cannot get the ball back to second base after the throw to third was unsuccessful as well. It's 2 runners in scoring position, and the Tarp Skunks are up 11-2. Now 9 runs the Americans will have to match in the bottom of the 6th if they want to retie this game. That will go down as a single and an advance on the throw for Nolan Smith. Or excuse me, that was Dom Costello. A swing and a miss by Weeks for strike 1. Costello on with a single and throw, and Eric Weeks with us with a foul ball to his right. It's 0-2. Kasperwitz looking to get out of this inning with just 1 earned run, the other 8 being charged to Austin Barton. And that is lined to the shortstop Ramos. The throw at first in time for out number 3. The Americans let up 11 runs, but at the very least prevent the runners in scoring position from coming home. Still, anyone's game here is, lots of runs can score in the PGCBL, but the Americans trail by 9, looking to avoid their 5th loss out of 6. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
back here for the bottom of the 6th inning. The Americans let up 9 runs in that top of the 6th. It'll be Nick Past first to face up against reliever Will Taylor. He came in for Barnett to record the final out of the 5th. It's a ball and no strikes on Past. Nick Past on the day is 1 for 1. Big cut and miss for a strike here. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. As the Americans have a 9-run deficit to make up. The pitch from Taylor is a close shave for ball 2. It was tied at 2 prior to that top of the 6th inning. Austin Barton letting up a lot of free bags and then giving up the grand slam to clear him. Totaled 8 earned runs. Kasperwitz had 1 as well. That'll go outside to fill up the count on Past. Nico Frizzell now in center for Matthew Dumas. And here's the pitch. It is a pop-up down the first base line. Smith is under it and makes the catch for out number 1. So 1 down for the Skunks with nobody on, as Derek Jesmondi will come up next. And the Americans have shown the ability to rally. They had a 5-run rally in the loss to the Doubledays in that bottom of the 9th inning here at Sal Magley about a week ago. But, Jesmondi almost whacked on ball 1. And on deck for the Americans after Jesmondi is Brady Bowles. It'll be another ball, this one upstairs, to make it 2-0. Americans looking to get some traffic on the base paths and start cutting in to this 9-run deficit. That'll find the outside part of the plate to make it 2-1. This is the Skunks' biggest lead against the Americans all season long, and that'll be sent into shallow left field. Backing up for the catch is the shortstop, Brady Marshall. 2 down, and just 2 batters faced here in the 6th inning for Will Taylor. Brady Bowles will bat next. The third baseman batting .200, 886 OPS headed into the game. He's 0 for 2 on the day. So that average now below the Mendoza line for him. We're going to get it back up here in this bottom of the 6th. The final hope to avoid a 1-2-3 here. Brady Bowles. Has reached base a number of different ways over the course of the season. He's doubled, had a number of walks, singles. The count is now even at 1. Bowles looking to reach base for the first time tonight, though. Sends it foul behind him. And the pitcher, Will Taylor, 1 strike away from sending the Americans down 1-2-3. It would be 4 consecutive outs for him after relieving Easton Barnett. That'll go in the dirt to even up the count. So strike 3 for now. We'll have to wait at the very least. Tarp Skunks up 11-2. Americans going to need a 2-out rally here if they want to avoid this game remaining way out of their hands here in this bottom of the 6th. Full count. The payoff pitch from Will Taylor as he tries to end the inning will be ball 4 to Bowles. Brady Bowles another walk. He's had plenty of them this season. Also a threat to steal. Brady Bowles, his 8th walk on the year. And we'll look for his 3rd steal to really get things going here in the bottom of the 6th for the Americans. And Dalton Harper, the next customer at the plate. It's 2 consecutive nights for him with an RBI hit. Takes strike 1 in the low inside corner. And there's the lead for Brady Bowles at first base. Taylor has a good view of him. And that'll be even lower to make it 1-1. Dalton Harper, his 2nd year with the Americans. Graydon Miller, who's on deck, also his 2nd year here. And it's 2-1 in the count to Harper. So if Harper can get on here, Graydon Miller will have 2 runners on once again, an opportunity for some more RBIs. He's had the other RBI tonight as Harper fouls it off down the 3rd base line. It's 2s across the board. Ball strikes outs. Dalton Harper looking to get on base for the 3rd time tonight. He's reached base every single time thus far. He's had a hit and a walk. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. That'll end the 6th inning. The Americans unable to even come close to matching the Tarp Skunks. 9 runs in the top of the inning. We'll be right back. Matthew Kasperowitz will keep pitching as the Tarp Skunks look to get this into mercy territory. We'll be right back. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Top of the 7th inning, and here on the Americans Baseball Network, this 7th inning is sponsored by Elks Lodge, Bikers Against Child Abuse, the Stalka Agency, and Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. And it'll be Ty Lagoni, the substitution center fielder, Nico Frizzell, and then Nolan Smith due up in the inning. Lagoni is 1 for 3 today. Oh for 2 in his first 2 at bats, and then got a hit more recently. That was the knock that drove in a run in that 6th inning after a free run before it. And Kasperwitz struggling with his command of the zone here. 3 balls and no strikes. And that'll get in there for strike 1. Kasperwitz avoids the 4-pitch walk. And that is sent down the third base line and thrown across the field by Bowles for out number 1. And Tarp Skunks 1 up, 1 down so far in this inning.
Now batting number 13, Nico Frizzell.
And Nico Frizzell will be up next, his first at bat of the game. And Frizzell will ground it to Ramos, sent to first. It's a broken bat. But 2 down here in this top of the 7th inning on consecutive pitches. And Nolan Smith will bring it back to the top of the order for the Skunks. They lead 11-2. Another run could put them in mercy territory, but they already have this game likely in their hands. Would improve to 6-6 on the season and be just 1 game away from tying the Americans, which they would have the chance to do tomorrow as the Americans travel to Jamestown for the second leg of this home and home. First pitch at 6:30 for that one. All the coverage will be right here on the Americans Baseball Network, but it's strike 1 now with 2 balls on the count to Nolan Smith. And another swing and miss to even up the count. Smith looking behind him. We got Jacob Haynes in the on-deck circle now. And it is outside to make it a full count on Smith with 2 down. Kasperwitz can end the inning right here with a strikeout. Here's the payoff pitch. And that will be just outside for ball 4. Smith will make his trot to first. Jacob Haynes with 1 on, 2 down. Had the grand slam earlier. Certainly proved that his power over at Seton Hill was not a fluke. He had 12 nukes over there and now 1 in the PGCBL. Takes strike 1 down the pike. Surprised that a big hitter like Haynes wouldn't swing at that one, but he was fooled by Kasperwitz. Here's the 0-1. That'll drop low on the breaking ball on the inside part of the zone. But too low, it's 1-1. The pitch. Swung and miss. A big cut by Haynes that time. And after he took strike 1, he'll take the big swing on that pitch. Definitely warranted after. Went right down the middle and caught him looking, but it's 1-2 to him now as he fouls one off. The foul tip behind home plate goes right into the netting. Jacob Haynes, 2 for 4 with a double and a homer, and that'll drop for the base hit. Jacob Haynes is a triple away from the cycle. And it's 2 runners on for the Skunks. They have 8 hits on the night now. Justin Bremner with 2 runners on. He's got some home run power himself. And if he sends one out here, the Tarp Skunks would be well into mercy rule territory. It's outside for ball 1. Bremner leads the team in home runs and RBIs, as well as in batting average at .489 headed into the game. He's 0 for 2 tonight, And that is a shallow fly into right center field. Grant Moore will make the catch for out number 3. So some power shown by Bremner there, but not quite enough. The Tarp Skunks still lead by 9 as we head to the bottom of the 7th after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back here on the Americans Baseball Network for the bottom of the 7th, the Americans looking to overcome this 9-run deficit. They'll have Graydon Miller up first in the bottom of the inning. Connor Kiefer and Alan Ramos, the final 2 hitters in the order, will follow him up. And the Americans would love to partner with your business. The Americans have lots of options to make your presence known in the community. Please visit their website at NiagaraFallsAmericans.com to get involved, and go Americans. The new pitcher for the Tarp Skunks is Brendan Klein. You saw him warming up earlier, now coming into the game. His debut as a Tarp Skunk. He comes from Brown University. 1-1, a 15 ERA, 4 strikeouts. One of his teammates back at school is a Newark pilot this year, Christian Butera. The third baseman last night made some great plays against these Americans. And Graydon Miller will kick things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Miller is 1 for 2 tonight. And believe it or not, this is only the 3rd time through the order here for the Americans here in this 7th inning. They've recorded just 6 hits, 3 walks. Miller going to send that down the third base line, but it goes foul. Just a little later on the timing there. That could have been a double for Miller. Jacob Haynes already had one tonight. As I mentioned earlier, a triple away from the cycle. The pitch goes inside at the feet of Graydon Miller to make it 1-1. Graydon Miller came into the game with an average of .259. Swings and misses on the next pitch. Now a 1-2 count from the new pitcher Klein to Graydon Miller. Another second-year vet for these Americans. Each have a hit tonight. Gavin Boyles came around to score later. Dalton Harper had an RBI. Graydon Miller had an RBI. So Boyle the only one without one, but he ended up scoring himself. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Graydon Miller leading off this inning as Jaws plays through the speakers here at Sal Magley. The 2-2 pitch is going to hit Graydon Miller on the back. Miller reaching base for the 2nd time tonight. Not exactly an ideal way to reach base, but nonetheless, he's on for Connor Kiefer. Kiefer, now a 4-game hit streak. He's 1 for 2 tonight, looking for his first multi-hit game. Has been consistently a 1-hit per game player thus far for Niagara Falls. Kiefer came into the game batting .300. Could go up even further as he's 1 for 2 tonight. Miller has a lead at first base, and Kiefer taking a close shave at the head to make it 1-0. Lots of close shaves here tonight at the barbershop. But the 1-0 pitch. But first a pickoff attempt, and they will call Graydon Miller. They thought he was out at first, but he will be safe. As the home plate umpire confirms. And it's another ball now to Connor Kiefer. And the pitch goes on the low part of the plate. Finds the zone for strike one. So 2-1 count. It's the Alfred State product, Kiefer. And Kiefer with the chopper. It gets into the outfield for his second hit of the night. His first 2-hit game of the season, his 5th hit total of the season. It's runners on first and second. Connor Kiefer. A quiet breakout game here for the Americans. As Alan Ramos comes up next with Miller and Kiefer on the base paths, two of his fellow infielders. It's funny, you got first baseman on second, second baseman on first, and the shortstop up to bat. They're in order on defense and now in order on offense as Ramos shows bunt but pulls away. Strike one called. Be a good situation to bunt. Advance the runners both into scoring position. For the leadoff hitter, Grant Moore, who's looking to extend his hit streak. That pitch will sink low to make it 1-1. Alan Ramos came into the game batting .077, had his first Americans hit a couple games back. The pitch from Klein. This one going a little higher, but it's 2-1 on the count. Ramos looking to advance. Connor Kiefer potentially score Graydon Miller. He's in scoring position. That one will go up high to make it 3-1. A walk would load the bases for Grant Moore. And he is hungry for a hit. 0 for 2 in this game with a walk. That'll go outside, and in 5 pitches, a walk of Alan Ramos by Brendan Klein. Grant Moore with the bases loaded and nobody out. A big opportunity for these Americans. I mean, you already saw the Tarp Skunks hit a grand slam. Grant Moore could hit one here. It would nearly cut the Skunks' lead in half. But first, a meeting on the mound. Frank Jagoda meeting with Brendan Klein. There is action in the pen for the Skunks. We'll see if they make a change here. Jagoda stepping off the mound, and Klein will hang in there after letting 3 consecutive base runners on. It's the final 3 in the Americans' order, and now Grant Moore looking for the 12th game on his hit streak. Did reach base tonight with a walk, so would at least preserve an on-base streak, but looking for a hit here as he takes the ball outside. I mean, a walk would be no good here for the Tarp Skunks either. That would knock in a run. And it would be Moore's 10th RBI. Upstairs to make it 2-0, and I mean, if Moore can take a walk here, I don't think he would be complaining. It would be his 10th ribby of the season. Would get on base for the second time tonight. And that's going to be an inside ball that briefly gets away. It's going to be a strike, rather. briefly gets away from Borchert, but runners will hold. Here's the pitch. That'll be low. Makes it 3-1. Grant Moore. A walk would score a run. A hit would score some runs. And he will send that foul down the third base line. It's a full count. Has been leading in the count for most of the at-bat here. Hoping to keep it that way and avoid a strikeout against the reliever Klein, who has already let 3 runners on. Here's the pitch. That's another one fouled off. Grant Moore. 462 batting average headed in. Looking to keep that high. And he will send that into the outfield for the base hit. Hit streak continues. 1 run scores. 2nd run coming in. Miller and Kiefer will be plated for RBIs number 10 and 11 by Grant Moore. 12-game hit streak. And the Americans cut the lead to 7. Still a lot of ground to make up, but that'll certainly help. 11-4 ball game. It's the 8th hit by the Americans. And Evan Core with 2 on and nobody out after the RBI knock by Grant Moore. Drove in 2. Check swing. As they will call that for the strike. So Evan Core down 0-2 in the count. Klein sends the 2-0. It goes wild. Runners going. And they will hold at 2nd and 3rd. It's Moore and Ramos. They were going to be a double steal threat either way, but the wild pitch will help them out. It's ball 1 to Evan Core. And those base runners certainly weren't blind to that outside pitch as 3 blind mice plays over the speakers here. But Moore and Ramos both with a lead at their respective bases. Haven't seen anybody steal home yet, but another wild pitch, and that could bring Ramos in as run number 5. But it's fouled off by the batter Core. Core is 0 for 3. Led the team in batting average headed in at 471. Here's the 1-2. In there for strike 3. Core is frustrated. He goes down as the first out of this inning. Hudson Boring, Americans pitcher, likely having the off day after 4 innings yesterday, but he brings the ball to the ump. As Gavin Boyle comes out with 2 runners in scoring position. 1 for 3 today. No RBIs yet. Looking for his first 1 or potentially 2 with this at bat. Brendan Klein still pitching and sends ball 1 to the low inside corner on Boyle. Got some action in the Jamestown bullpen in the form of Sam Rickman. And that'll be a fly ball into deep left field. It's going back, and it gets out of here. It'll be a ground rule double. It did bounce, but Gavin Boyle will plate 2. The Americans cut the lead to 5 now, and it looks like Brendan Klein's day will be over. Gavin Boyle's ball going deep into the outfield, dropped briefly, and then hopped out of the park. Gavin Boyle had 4 homers actually last year for the Americans. Was close to his first right there, but it'll bounce. As he reaches second, he's had a single and a double tonight. His first 2 RBIs of the year coming on that one. And you can just see how much power Gavin Boyle has on his bat. Instantly one of the biggest bats in this Americans order. Paul Delanto sitting out the night. That makes it even tougher. But Sam Rickman will come in to pitch for the Tarp Skunks. 16.20 ERA on the year, has struck out 1. And looks like the Tarp Skunks are trying to save their best relievers, but the Americans are rallying here with 1 down. They've scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning, 2 of them coming on the ground rule double by Gavin Boyle, 2 coming on a 2-run single by Grant Moore with the bases loaded. Moore and Boyle look like they are going to headline this offense moving forward. And the Americans have now exceeded 3 runs in this game, so all the fans will get a free McCafe frappe. And while the new pitcher warms up, we missed our 6th inning sponsors here on the broadcast, so we'll go back and get them. Chris Robins, the Niagara County legislator, Laborers Local 91, and Wegmans. Wegmans also sponsoring the birthday package here, as well as the Kids Run. One of the biggest sponsors here with the Americans. We thank Wegmans for all they do here. Nick Past. The DH will come up next with Gavin Boyle in scoring position after the ground rule double. And the new pitcher, Rickman, will check back on second, then throw a strike to Nick Past. Past is 1 for 2. One of a whopping 7 Americans with a hit tonight, but the Tarp Skunks have still managed to tie him in the hit column. And that is in there to make it 0-2 on Past. Past 1 for 2 on the night. Also got hit. Here's the pitch. It'll get in there. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Nick Past sent packing. And here comes Derek Jesmondi. Gavin Boyle still at second base, looking to come around a score. And Jesmondi looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. The pitch will be upstairs for the ball. Tarp Skunks now lead by just 5. It's 11-6. Americans have started to rally here as it's a chopper that will land foul down the third base line. Jesmondi will have to come back and continue his at bat with the 1-1 count. Jesmondi has walked a grand total of 9 times this season.
You guys are just sitting there, do something.
And that walk total is close to the top of the team. It's second to just Grant Moore, as it's a big cut and miss by Jesmondi for strike 2. He chases on the low pitch. And now the new pitcher, Rickman, just 1 out away from ending this 7th inning. Gonna have to wait. It's ball 2 to make it 2s across the board. Ball strikes outs. Derek Gismondi looking to get back in this count. He was in a 1-2 hole. Actually started up 1-0, but it's big cut and miss for strike 3. Derek Gismondi sent packing. The Americans sent packing in this 7th inning, but they cut the lead to just 5. The Tarp Skunks going to have to be careful here in this 8th inning. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
And Joe Chaya coming in as we begin this 8th inning here at Sal Magley. The Tarp Skunks lead 11-6. Some fireworks going off near the ballpark. And what better sponsor for the 8th inning than the sponsor of all fireworks here at Sal Magley Stadium? It's Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, the official casino of the Americans. More winning, more comfort, more entertainment. Go to SenecaNiagaraCasino.com for more. Joe Chaya, the southpaw, coming out of the pen. And in this in this 8th inning, he will face a good heart of this Tarp Skunks order. It's Nathan Borchert, Brady McGuire, and Brady Marshall. The 2 Bradys will follow up the cleanup hitter Borchert here in this 8th inning. Joe Chaya looking to keep this a 5-run ball game as some more fireworks go off in left field. And Chaya hoping to avoid more fireworks to left field here in this inning as strike 1 goes to Nathan Borchert. Chaya doing a little circle around the mound on the timeout. Borchert is 0 for 4 tonight. Reached on a fielder's choice and came around to score. Yankee Doodle Dan now in the press box with his hot dog hat. And that is taken in the low outside corner to make it 1-1. It's a left-on-left matchup. Chaya versus Borchert. Another outside pitch to put the count in Borchert's favor. Joe Chaya has let up a lot of walks on the season, hoping to avoid one here. But he's found success by painting the corners, and that is going to be a fly ball in foul territory. Diving for it is Gavin Boyle. He'll make the catch for out number 1. So usually good defense leads to good offense, but this time good offense leading to good defense. Gavin Boyle with a diving play after the ground rule double for out number 1. Gavin Boyle, welcome back to the Americans. Brady McGuire will be up next with 1 down on the diving play by Boyle. This starts the back-to-back Bradys here for the Skunks. They're both right-handers to face the lefty Chaya. And McGuire will take one on the low inside corner for the ball. Excuse me, that'll be called a strike. And another strike as Joe Chaya continues to paint these corners. One strike away from out number 2. The pitch a little lower and further in. So now 1-2. Chaya, a lot of those pitches have been on that border between ball and strike, and it's been very precise with them. But it'll hit McGuire on the foot. McGuire taking another free bag. He's had a number of them tonight.
Now batting shortstop, number 28, Brady Marshall.
McGuire has now walked twice and gets hit by the pitch right there. Brady Marshall up next. He was hit twice in the same inning. But Marshall will take a ball low from Chaya. Never mind, be called a strike. But after that, it'll hit the second consecutive batter, Brady Marshall. It's got to be some kind of record in the PGCBL here for times hit in a game. He's been hit 3 times. And all of those have come in a row as well. But now 2 runners on and 1 down for Joe Chaya. Will Cordero will come in to meet with him as the Americans look to avoid this lead for the Tarp Skunks getting even wider. It was once a 9-run lead. The Americans rallied back a little bit. They'll hope to continue that rally in the bottom of this inning, but Joe Chaya's got to keep it clean here first. And he's hit 2 consecutive batters. Next up, it'll be Dom Costello. Another left-on-left matchup. Chaya succeeded in his first one of those, but has now hit both Brady's, both righties he's faced in this game. Chaya's ERA on the season came into this over 5. He checks on McGuire and throws one in the outside corner for ball 1. Chaya checks on McGuire again. He takes off, and he will head into third on the strike. So now runners on the corners for the Skunks. And Costello will look to bring the ladder home in Brady McGuire. It's an outside ball 2 first. A walk here would load up the bases for Chaya. Marshall has an open base at second. We'll see if he tries to steal. That'll find the outside corner to even up the count. Joe Chaya, once again, painting those corners, has already gotten a couple 2-strike counts here tonight. But that'll fill things up on a further outside pitch. Borchert flew out on the first at bat of the inning. The diving play by Boyle in left field, foul territory. And that'll be ball 4. Costello's excited. He gets a base. The bases are loaded. Costello reaches. Once again, he has reached base a grand total of 4 times tonight. Also had the sac fly, and now a pinch runner coming in for Dom Costello. It's Cole Swift. Cole Swift, a threat to steal himself, comes from Salisbury. Same school as the Muck Dogs' third baseman, Jackson Inman. But with the bases juiced and one down, it's Eric Weeks. Weeks 0 for 1, but he has walked twice. Also had a sac fly. 1 of 2 for the Tarp Skunks. Those were how the first 2 runs were scored, but after that, Americans started giving up a lot of free bags, and then the grand slam hit by Jacob Haynes. Pitch from Chaya is foul tip right to Harper for strike 1. Dalton Harper, one of the 2 most frequent flyers behind the plate for the Americans alongside Nick Past. And that'll get in there for strike 2 on the low part of the zone. Would be a big strikeout for Chaya here. Force play is also available. Just don't want to give up a hit or walk. That is going to be sent foul into the batting cage area here at Sal Magley. Down the first base line. Eric Weeks has yet to strike out tonight, but the Americans have definitely struck him out before in previous games as he fouls another one off to keep this at bat going. 4 pitches to Weeks, and 3 of them have been fouled off. And the bases are juiced with 1 down. Chaya delivers on the 0-2. It's another foul down the first base line. Eric Weeks extending this at bat with the fouls. And a lot of stink on the bases. 3 Skunks. As another one goes down the first base line. That time a line drive. Bounces right near the picnic benches. Chaya looking to finish this after a bunch of foul balls, but this one's in fair territory. It's a fly ball into right center field, and Evan Core will be there for out number 2. Runners tagging up. Throw goes wild. And a run coming in. The Tarp Skunks now up 12-6. They've doubled up the Americans in this game. But holding at first is Cole Swift. Brady Marshall into third. And McGuire comes in to score on another sac fly for these Tarp Skunks. The second of the day by Weeks at strike 1. Now to the new batter, Ty Lagoni. Lagoni 1 for 4 tonight. We'll take the next pitch way inside, and it goes wild. Another run coming in. It's now 13-6. Joe Chaya has allowed 2 runs as Cole Swift will take second and Brady Marshall will score. Tarp Skunks now lead 13-6 on the 1-1 count with 2 down. Americans, it's been a moving target for them here tonight. They rallied for 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th and thought they'd only need 5 more, but now their lead back up to 7 for the Skunks. Skunks scored first and have led for most of the game. And that'll drop in for a base hit. Coming around to score for run number 14 is Cole Swift. And reaching second base is Ty Lagoni. So another run and another hit for the Skunks. It's their 10th hit of the day. The target continues to move on these Americans, as getting credit with the double will be Ty Lagoni. So still a runner in scoring position for Nico Frizzell. Came in as a defensive sub. And it's a big cut and miss. That'll go low to make it 1-2. The pitch will be popped foul. And Joe Chaya looking to finish the inning right here. Check swing. And they will say he went. Strike three. Joe Chaya gets his first strikeout. And we'll head to the bottom of the eighth. The Americans with a lot of ground to make up after the Tarp Skunks score 3 in the top of the eighth. Ever dreamed of playing catch right here at Sal Magley Stadium? Well, join us June 22nd for a post-game catch on the field. Back for the bottom of the eighth inning here on the Americans Baseball Network. Tarp Skunks lead Niagara Falls 14-6. And fans, we'd like to thank everyone for watching tonight or coming to the park, however you are catching the game. But remember that an Americans game is a great way to bring your group together. Whether it's a school, church, business, or youth sports organization, the Americans are able to offer great options and even picnics for your organization or business. Reserve your group online at www.niagarafallsamericans.com. And the Americans going to have Brady Bowles, Dalton Harper, and Graydon Miller due up as they look to start up another rally here in the eighth inning. They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the seventh. Sam Rickman still pitching after he recorded the final 2 outs of inning number 7 here. Brendan Klein going just a third of an inning and gets all 4 of the earned runs to his name. Rickman will send the first pitch inside to Brady Bowles. And Bowles will foul off the 1-0 to even up the count. Bowles tonight has gone 0 for 2. He's walked and struck out. And takes one way inside to make it 2-1. Has to dodge a little bit to avoid getting whacked. Chaya hit a couple last inning. And it is now 2-2. That one right down the pike. And Bowles will not bite. Harper and Miller, multi-year vets, are due up in this inning. Harper on deck. That'll go upstairs to fill up the count. Brady Bowles looking for his second walk of the night. Is up there among the walk leaders for this team. He is tied for third with 8. Paul Delanto also has 8 on the season. Gismondi and Moore, the leaders at 10 and 9. And that is a foul tip to keep the count full. The Americans have 8 runs of ground to make up here against these Skunks. It's less than an inning ago. They were down 9, scored 4, and then let up 3. Big swing and a miss, Brady Bowles. Sent packing for out number 1, and Dalton Harper will be up next. Dalton Harper is 1 for 2 on the night. Walk, a strikeout, an RBI. Has seen a lot of time on the base paths. First pitch is a fly ball. Rather drop as more of a pop-up. And the catch made by Brady McGuire. It's been 2 quick outs here for the Skunks. Elsewhere in the PGCBL, the Double Days lead Elmira 12 9 at Dunfield. The Muck Dogs up 8-2 on the Pilots. As I mentioned earlier, Ironbacks and Red Wings is postponed. That got rained out. And Graydon Miller up next. He's 1 for 2. Comes in after the Harper pop out. Looking to avoid the 1-2-3 here, but a swing and miss for strike 1. Miller came in batting .259, should go up after tonight. Another big cut and miss. It's been 2 pitches, 2 swings and misses for Graydon Miller. Miller looking to avoid his second strikeout of the night. He's been on base every time he hasn't struck out and takes one upstairs parallel to his helmet for ball 1. Trying to climb out of an 0-2 hole with 2 down and nobody on. Miller already drove in a run with his hit tonight. Takes another ball outside to even things up. 2s across the board. Miller also came around to score on the Grant Moore knock to extend his hit streak to 12. The pitch is sent down the third base line, but it is cut off by McGuire, and he was off the bag at first base. Nolan Smith is off the bag, and reaching on the error is Graydon Miller. So we've got a runner on with 2 down for Connor Kiefer, who already has 2 hits tonight. A third would be great here. It'll be ruled a throwing error by Brady McGuire. Kiefer came into the game batting .300 and is now 2 for 3 on the night. That's strike 1 on him. Comes from Alfred State, also over a .300 hitter over there. Lights are bright here at Sal Magley in more ways than one as it's fouled off. The pop foul making for strike 2 on Kiefer, and Rickman once again finds himself 1 strike away, but the error kept this inning alive. Graydon Miller is on first base. On deck is Alan Ramos, the final hitter in the order, and this is going to be a fly ball into shallow center, and Frizzell will make the catch for out number 3. Connor Kiefer retired in this bottom of the 8th, and we will come back with the top of the 9th after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Welcome back for the top of the 9th inning as the lights are fully on here at Sal Magley, and they are bright as Joe Chaya keeps pitching. He'll see the top of the Tarp Skunks order. And this 9th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is sponsored by Casella, by Salino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Wright Beverages. Get all your favorite Wright alcoholic beverages at Deb's Beer Garden down the third base line at Sal Magley. Any home game, the supplier of all our beverages over there as Nolan Smith steps in. It's the top of the order for the Skunks in this inning. Smith, Haynes, and Bremner. Haynes had the grand slam earlier and is a triple shy of the cycle as it's a swing and miss for strike 1 on Nolan Smith. The real question is if Haynes has triple speed. And that's a chopper foul to make it 0-2. Chaya looking to get out of this one quickly after 3 earned runs in the 8th. Americans have not committed any errors yet tonight, so every run has been earned. And there's a called strike 3 on the low edge of the zone. Joe Chaya will send down Smith to start things off here in the 9th inning. Americans will have one last shot to come back in the bottom of this inning. Ramos, Moore, and Core will be due up. But Jacob Haynes up to bat now. And it's fouled off. So the Americans have dropped 4 out of 5, looking to avoid making that 5 out of 6. But if they lose tonight, they'll have another shot at these Skunks tomorrow in Jamestown. First pitch for that one will also be at 6:30. Yes. It's a ball taken by Haynes. Pitch from Chaya. We'll go a little bit outside to put the count in Haynes' favor. 1 down, nobody on. Chaya struck out the first batter, and no balls recorded in that at bat. Three and 1. And that'll be outside for ball 4. Jacob Haynes, no cycle, but he gets on for the 4th time tonight. Justin Bremner up next. And surprisingly, in a night where the Tarp Skunks have done so much damage, Bremner, not a single hit. Won PGCBL Player of the Week this past week. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Big swing and miss for the strike here. Ones across the board. Balls, strikes, outs. Joe Chaya likely to finish things off here for the Americans in this 9th inning. And it's fouled off into the first base bleachers. 1-2 on the count to Bremner. Bremner came in batting .489. That's going to go down just a bit from this night. That's 0 for 3 so far, and he'll foul another one off. He'll look to avoid the damage done to his batting average by recording his first hit in this inning. Justin Bremner already reached base once with a walk. And the 1-2 from Chaya is a chopper. It will be picked up by Kiefer. The shovel to first in time for out number 2. And advancing to second, it's a productive ground out. Jacob Haynes takes second base after the walk. Nathan Borchert, the cleanup hitter, will be up to bat with Jacob Haynes in scoring position. Haynes already doubled once tonight. It appears that Borchert may be pinch hit for here. We'll wait for word in just a moment. Yes, the pinch hitter will be Aiden Nolasco. Nolasco batting .111 on the year, .444 OPS. And his opportunities in college baseball have been junior varsity over at University of Tampa. Did not appear in 2025 for that JV team, though. Nolasco is a rising senior at U Tampa. And Chaya will ready to pitch to the right-hander. Jagoda opting for the opposite hand matchup here against Chaya, as that's popped foul. Would argue it's a smart move, but Borcher in general more likely to make contact than Nolasco given their batting averages. As that is outside to make it 1-1. Or 1-2 rather. Pitch from Chaya. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3 on the Tarp Skunks. And they will head down here as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Americans with the last shot at taking back the lead. We'll be right back.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Back for the bottom of the 9th inning. And Sam Rickman will keep pitching, but we did briefly have another catcher on the field. As Branston Lindquist was warming up with the pitcher, and now, Branston Lindquist is the new catcher, rather. Stepping in for Jacob Haynes. So another defensive sub for Jamestown as Rickman will keep pitching. He'll see Alan Ramos as well as Grant Moore and Evan Core tonight. And on the night, Alan Ramos is 1 for 2. One of 7 Americans to record a hit. And that'll go for the strike on the backdoor slider. That is a big cut and miss, and now Alan Ramos down 0-2 in the count. Ramos, a commit to Wagner. Just 2 hits so far for the Americans this season. Looking for number 3 as he takes one outside to make it 1-2. Rickman delivers for strike 3, the swing and miss. He gets Alan Ramos to chase some nasty breaking balls coming out of the glove of Rickman. Grant Moore now up. He's 1 for 4. Extended his hit streak, 1 for 3 rather, but extended his hit streak to 12 games. Hasn't mattered on the scoreboard for the Americans as they're down by 8. Swing and a miss for strike 1 by Moore. Grant Moore looking to get on base and get something going with 1 down for the Americans. That'll go outside to make it 1s across the board. Ball strikes outs. It's 25 on 25. Rickman versus Moore. The 1-1 pitch. Moore shows bunt. It'll go for the ball. Let's put the count in his favor. Rickman. Base is empty. Can focus all in on his hitter, Grant Moore. And right there. Moore taking the pitch for ball 3. Here's the 3-1. And that'll get in there on the inside part of the zone to fill up the count. Close call, but the ump will say strike 2. Moore will have to wait on any potential walk here. Would be his second walk of the night. His third time reaching base. And it'll come right there. Grant Moore throwing his bat and headed to first. Evan Core will follow him up. Core 0 for 4, one of just 3 Americans without a hit tonight. This is rare for him. He came into the game leading the team in batting average at .471. SUNY Niagara product has struck out twice tonight, once swinging, once looking. The pitch as Grant Moore takes off for second. He will be safe by a... Oh, it's off the bag, and he is now headed towards third. He's in a rundown. He's going to have to hurry back to second, and he will get tagged for out number 2. Graham Moore was off the bag, and it's going to cost him. Grant Moore. Caught stealing as Evan Core will keep batting now with the bases empty. The last hope here for the Americans. It'll be strike 1. The 0-1. We'll go outside to even things up. Here's the 1-1, and Core will foul it off. Evan Core will send it on the line drive into right field. It'll be not able to get there. Eric Weeks. Core is speeding towards second base. And Evan Core will get the hit there as that drops near right fielder Eric Weeks. He gets credit for the double, and here comes Gavin Boyle. 10th hit of the night for the Americans, so Americans and Tarp Skunks are tied in the hit column, but Niagara Falls has had some problems leaving runners on, and the Americans tonight have also given up a lot of free bags, so that explains the 14 runs for Jamestown compared to just 6 for the Americans, and it's an inside ball 1 to Gavin Boyle. Boyle is 2 for 4, a single and a ground rule double that almost went out for a homer. Dropped at the last second. And it goes outside. It's 2-0. Gavin Boyle. Spent his first 2 years at SUNY Niagara, now just committed to University of Southern Indiana. That's a Division I school going right there from JUCO. And that'll be popped up behind the plate. And it'll drop out of play, despite McGuire and Lindquist chasing after it. And Gavin Boyle looking for his third knock of the night and another RBI as he tips that foul. It's 2-2. Twos across the board. Balls, strikes, out. Sam Rickman looking for out number 3, and the Americans will see the Tarp Skunks again tomorrow in this home and home. First pitch is at 6:30 from Jamestown. Tomorrow night we'll have all the coverage here on the Americans Baseball Network. Here's the pitch as taking off for third is Evan Core. An inside ball, and Core steals third. Gavin Boyle now a full count with 2 outs and a runner on third base in Evan Core. Boyle can drive him in right here with a hit. Would be his third of the night. And also his third RBI. And he will send that one foul to keep this at bat alive. Boyle, one of the biggest bats in this Americans lineup last year, should slot in as one of the biggest bats once again this year. Already almost took one deep earlier tonight. That went for a ground rule double, and that'll be a shallow fly ball. And it is caught by Brady Marshall for out number 3. That'll be the ball game. The Americans fall short in this one, 14-6. It is now 5 out of 6 lost as the Tarp Skunks now within striking distance of the Americans. They can tie the records at 7-6 tomorrow with a win. And they will face off at Russell H. Dietrich Park tomorrow. First pitch at 6:30 p.m. We'll have all the coverage here on the Americans Baseball Network. Niagara Falls will be back home on Friday to kick off a second home and home. That one will be against the Ironbacks. First pitch on Friday at 6:30. Then they'll head over the border on Saturday. Already 3-0 on the season against the Ironbacks, but they'll drop to 2-1 against Jamestown with this loss. Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in. I've been your play-by-play broadcaster, Andrew Roberts. Final score from Niagara Falls: Tarp Skunks 14, Americans 6. Thank you so much for tuning in.